Welcome back, everyone, to episode 30 of our series on the evolving landscape of education. I am your host, Sochata, and today we are diving into a topic that hits close to home for so many of us who are trying to balance careers, families, and personal growth: e-learning platforms and their true effectiveness in adult education.
It is such a pleasure to be here again, Sachata. I was just looking at some recent data, and it is staggering how much the landscape has shifted in just a few short years. Adult learners are no longer the alternative demographic. They are the primary focus of digital innovation.
That is a fascinating point, Sarun. But I have to ask, because I feel this myself sometimes. Is it actually effective? Or are we just scrolling through modules like we scroll through social media without really absorbing the heart of the material?
That is the million-dollar question. Effectiveness in adult education, or andragogy as we call it, relies heavily on relevance. Unlike children, adults need to know why they are learning something right now. If a platform provides immediate utility, the effectiveness skyrockets. If it is just a digital textbook, well, the engagement drops off a cliff.
Exactly. I remember taking a project management course online last year. At first, I was so overwhelmed by the interface, but the moment I could apply a template to my actual daily work, it clicked. It felt like a light bulb going off in a dark room.
That aha moment, that is what we strive for. But let's be honest, Suchaka, there is a certain loneliness to it, isn't there? You are sitting there at 11 p.m., the house is quiet, and it's just you and the blue light of the screen. The emotional isolation can be a real barrier to completion.
You really hit a nerve there. It can feel very isolating. I think that is why some people fail to finish their certificates. Without a physical classroom or a teacher looking you in the eye, how do we keep that fire of motivation burning?
This is where the best platforms are evolving. They are building in social layers, peer-reviewed assignments, live webinars, and even AI-driven study buddies. They are trying to simulate that feeling of we are in this together, even when we are miles apart. It's about creating a community of practice, not just a repository of videos.
A community of practice. I love that phrasing. It makes it sound so much more alive. But what about the older generation? My uncle, for example, is brilliant, but he finds the gamification of some of these apps, the badges and the streaks, to be a bit, well, patronizing.
I hear that often. It is a delicate balance. For some, a digital badge is a hit of dopamine that keeps them going. For others, it feels like they are being treated like children. A truly effective platform for adults must be respectful of their time and their maturity. It should offer micro-learning, short, potent bursts of knowledge that respect the fact that an adult student might only have 20 minutes between meetings.
Nods firmly. Precision and respect. That should be the motto. I also wonder about the psychological weight of self-discipline. As adults, we are already managing so much. Adding student to the list of roles, parent, employee, spouse, it's heavy. Do you think platforms do enough to support the mental well-being of the learner?
Honestly, not yet. Most platforms are still focused on the delivery of content, but the pioneers are starting to include mindfulness breaks or modules on time management within the courses themselves. They are realizing that if the learner is burned out, the most high-tech course in the world won't save them.
It's a holistic challenge. I saw a story recently about a grandmother in her 70s who finished her degree through an e-learning portal. She said the hardest part wasn't the material, it was the fear that she didn't belong in a digital space. That really moved me.
That is beautiful, and that is where the effectiveness is truly measured, not just in test scores, but in the empowerment of the individual. When we lower the barriers to entry, we give people back their agency. We tell them it is never too late to reinvent themselves.
It really is about a second chance, isn't it? Or a third or a fourth? Before we wrap up today's deep dive, Sarun, if someone is listening right now and feeling hesitant about clicking enroll on an e-learning platform, what would you say to them?
I would say ignore the perfection you see in the ads. Expect it to be a bit messy. Expect to feel frustrated by the technology at first, but remember that every minute you spend learning is a minute you are investing in the most valuable asset you own, yourself. Just take that first module, just one.
Such powerful advice. Invest in yourself. It sounds simple, but it's the most profound thing we can do. Thank you so much, Mr. Sarun, for sharing your insights and your heart with us today. This conversation has certainly given me a lot to think about regarding my own learning journey.
It was my absolute pleasure, Suchata. Keep asking those tough questions. It is how we all grow.
And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to episode 30. We hope this episode sparked a bit of curiosity and maybe even a little courage to start that course you've been eyeing. Join us next week as we explore the impact of AI on vocational training. Until then, keep learning and stay inspired. Music fades out.